Jane, you're muted.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
I keep hitting the wrong one. Sorry, I should know better. Linda is a member of the curriculum committee, and we are absolutely delighted to have her here today. She's a Humboldt graduate. Something has happened to my, why won't that show up? That is weird. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I had it here and I made it disappear. This is a first. What was happening actually is that my screen was only showing me part of, and it's still only showing, oh, that's why. Okay, sorry about that. Linda is a Humboldt graduate from the geography department and worked for Six Rivers National Forest as the forest planner. Her dream job. She's now retired and volunteering with OLLI on the curriculum committee and with other outdoor children groups in the local area. She volunteered to be on the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree project, helping with the ornaments and a tree skirt committee. And then she went and took pictures, and she has lots of pictures and lots of wonderful experiences to share with you. She also has other members of the committee with her today, and I will let her introduce them. Thank you. Sorry about the delay.
All right, can you all hear me?
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you. So thanks, Jane, I appreciate that. So I'm Linda West, and I retired about 7 years ago from the Forest Service. And I found out about the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree was going to be coming from the Six Rivers National Forest. So after a couple of emails, I got connected to the person who was the national lead for it. And then the forest contacts last February, if you can believe it, last February. And then the forest had been working on it ahead of that time. So anyway, so I saw so many parts of making this effort happen and wanted to share with my community, and especially OLLI in particular. So I actually think stories, the background stories, are so interesting as you know, a community does this special event. So I got on the decorations and tree skirt team meeting, and we had a conference calls, you know, and got things going. There were lots of steps in between. We had tree skirts, and for the one large tree named Sugar Bear, we had companion trees that would accompany the large tree to the Capitol. So anyway, we were graciously given space at the George Lucas Center in Fortuna that became Santa's Workshop from February to late November. We started out in one room, if you can believe it, and then spilled over to a much larger conference room. And there's a story about glitter that, you know, we'll tell at a separate time. You know, Christmas ornaments have a lot of glitter. Anyway. Our team members were in Crescent City, Gasky, Willow Creek, Orleans, Mad River, and here in Eureka at the supervisor's office. And I wanted to say that while there was a pandemic, these employees, you know, really did a big job to get this effort up and going, and they in the middle of fire seasons and their regular program of work. So it's kind of amazing what a forest can go through when they have been asked to bring a national Christmas tree to our nation's capital. So anyway, along the way, my grandson's preschool got involved making ornaments in the springtime. And then I started to think, this tree needs a song. It's Christmas. So he and I started humming Christmas songs, and I can't remember, mid-June or something. So one sleepless night, I got up early and put on some Christmas music and wrote the lyrics to "Oh Sugar Bear," to "Oh Christmas Tree," which was wonderfully performed in Eureka by a few of us and Betsy Totten's children, plus my grandson Cooper. And then in December, Miss Shrum's kindergarten class even sang it, and we put it on Facebook Live, and it was on the Channel 7 newscast of Something Good. So my garden club, I used all the resources that I knew for, the outdoor people that I touch base with to make ornaments. And then the Boys and Girls Club, I volunteered there. So we had an event at the Boys and Girls Club. And then one OLLI member cut out countless Smokey Bear ornaments. So anyway, so the rest of our team today, we've got at 12:30, we'll watch for Michael. He is going to join us. He's the 5th grader who won the essay contest from Mary Peacock School in Crescent City. What does the theme "Many People's One Tree" mean to me? And it's absolutely fantastic. And then our public affairs officer, Betsy Totten, has got some videos, and she's going to share her experience. We have some videos of one of our Forest Service employees, of how she shared her efforts with the community. And then we have a video of BT Metals and how they came into play. And then we have our decorations and tree skirt lead, Maritza, and then Maggie Stimson, Redwood Empire Quilt Guild, and Susie Fries, who joined us in the effort on the decorations and tree skirt committee to make the beautiful 15-foot skirt, plus many other quilt skirts that went to Washington, D.C. So I'll share a couple of my pictures, Dane, if you can help me. Let's see.
So you're gonna go to,
yeah. Right here.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
Double click. All right, and then you're gonna go to slideshow.
And I'll just start with that one.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, right here.
Got slideshow right there.
Where?
Where's the slideshow?
Oh yeah, right there.
Boom.
Okay. And then, okay, then just can proceed. Okay.
And the arrow keys are the.
Whoops. Oh yeah, there's at the there's my grandson. We were at the where in October, the end of October, Sugar Bear came to town, so we got to see that. And then we had another project partner, Choose Outdoors, who was a key and instrumental in helping us with the project. So, and it does in it's a major organization that helps public lands connect people to the land. And they were a vital partner to our effort. There I am in the Chiefs of the Forest Service. Randy Moore and I go back quite a few years. I worked with Randy in Vallejo and in Region 5. He was our regional forester for 13 years, and now he is the Chief of the Forest Service. So I was so excited to be in his office and get pictures with him. Let's see. And then also the Secretary of Agriculture, and here's the Witten building and the other big tree that we brought over. And then just in that lower left corner, you can see the tree skirt. So I had aspirations to be the chief, but then I just changed my mind. I thought, well, maybe the Secretary of Agriculture I could become too. So let's see here, clicking. It's not, let's see, okay. Anyway, so we'll go to this next one. Oh, there's Vicki and I at the right before the tree left. We secured the tree onto the truck and trailer at the Brainerd building. And if you people in Eureka and Arcata know, that's in between, Arcata and Eureka on, off 101. And we set up the staging there. And so then, and Dane, if you don't mind, now I want to go to one of the BT Metals videos.
Okay, so so you're gonna stop your share.
Okay,
All right, you're gonna go down to your recents at the bottom right there.
where? Right here.
there. And is it that video with the two guys?
I thought, okay, this one. Yeah.
Okay, so click on that one.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
And then go back to your Zoom. So it's that blue box with the camera.
Okay.
All right, and you do share screen again.
Okay.
And then you click on the two guys.
Okay.
The share sound is good.
Okay.
And mute yourself.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, say who you are. Let's go.
Where
with it.
do I-
Yep. Okay. Okay, so here we go. All right, go for it.
Oops, oh.
No, no pressure.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
All right. Hi everyone, my name is Isaac Hartzler. And I'm Dustin Schlotthauer. We work for BT Metals. It is a local fabrication shop here in Eureka, California that has been servicing the area since 1954. And we, along with other companies and schools and everyone in between across California, joined the Forestry Service this past Christmas season to inaugurate Sugar Bear as the capital Christmas tree for 2021. Sugar Bear was an 84-foot white fir tree taken from the Mad River District here in California. It is the first time for the Mad River District, so congratulations to you, Six Rivers National Forest. We were so happy that you were selected for the capital tree. And the capital trees actually come through California quite a few times, but this was the most recent one, obviously. And so we at BT Metals, we partnered with the Forestry Service on this back in, I believe it was May, that we started talking about this, May of last year. Where we really got the ball rolling on ideas and getting introduced to all the various people who were involved with the project, like Jody and David and just all these really great people with the Forestry Service. And then things really started to kick off once we got past the summer and like into September and October. That's really when we started production of the ornaments for the tree. Six Rivers National Forest was looking for about 15,000 ornaments to adorn the tree this Christmas season. And so we at BT Metals, we donated about 150 ornaments, 50 in 3 different styles. And they are seen here with the Bigfoot, the North Star, and an eagle's feather. And all of these ornaments, they have a special meaning to them. With the Bigfoot, its meaning is emerge from the woods, kind of coming from a pandemic mindset of coming out of the pandemic, uniting us, kind of coming out of our isolation. The eagle's feather, its story is strength through unity. Same type of idea of coming together as one people, especially with the phrase that the Capital Christmas Tree had this year of 6 rivers, many peoples, one tree. We are a very diverse group of people, especially here in California. And so there can be a lot of strife that comes through diversity, but there can also be great unity and strength that comes through it as well. And then with the North Star, its story was discover your true north, discovering your purpose in life, discovering what you were born to do. And so we donated 150 of these ornaments to the Capitol tree. They were 12 inches tall, made out of aluminum, recycled aluminum. And then we got an idea that, you know, these are actually really good ornaments. They kind of have a great story with them. These can really be sold to the masses. So what we decided is we partnered also with the Forestry Service in selling the ornaments. We sold them locally here through Carl Johnson's, Schaefer's, and Pearson's. And we also sold them online through Carl Johnson's website. And so we were able to sell quite a few ornaments across the months leading up to Christmas. And the Christmas tree actually made an appearance here in Eureka on October 29th at Mattakit Square. That's where this banner came from. And Dustin, you were there at the event.
Yes, it was.
And how did it go? Tell us a little bit about it.
It was fun. It was fun. It was really exciting to see the community come out and see Sugar Bear out there. And, you know, we got to support the Forest Service with everything that they were doing. And it it was really cool to see how many people were interested in the tree and the process and everything that was going on. So it was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
fun.
for sure. And there's even some stuff going on prior to Sugar Bear being cut down, where we sponsored the tree with the
Cradle?
tree cradle.
The cradle. So we built a structure to hold the tree on its way over United States to DC, and it was a design that we came up with here in the shop, and it held through, and it was pretty fun to do. It was a good thing, good contribution we could do.
Yeah, exactly. And so that replaced the tree cradle that was on the truck because Sugar Bear is an 84-foot white fir. They needed an 85-foot truck bed to haul it across on. And the tree cradle that they had that supported the trunk of the tree was made out of wood, and it was starting to degrade and kind of
It was
run
falling
down.
apart.
It was falling apart,
Yeah.
in all honesty. So they came to us looking for one made out of metal, and so we were able to do that for them. It came out really nice. Dustin and Randy worked on it. Randy's another one of our fabricators here at BT Metals. And so they worked on it, got it painted, and we got it over to them, and it's going to be working out very well for years to come. And I believe North Carolina is the next state to have the capital Christmas tree.
Yeah, I think so.
And they even invited us out to see the tree cradle on that tree when they select that tree this coming Christmas season. And so once the tree left California, or left Eureka, I should say, it went on a cross-country tour through California and then hit a couple spots along the way to DC.
A couple, yeah.
A couple. It went across the Golden Gate Bridge, which was a first for the tree. It made its way down to Arizona, up through Texas into Oklahoma, Arizona, and then over to Maryland, where it was unveiled at Joint Base Andrews, and then it made its way into DC. And on December 1st, 2021, they lit the tree, and it was an absolutely amazing
It was pretty cool.
event. We were able to see it online since they were streaming it through various online sources like YouTube and Facebook Live. And it was actually really cool. They had a lot of really good speakers. Nancy Pelosi spoke at it. They had a student from the Humboldt area come out, and he had like a report that he did on the tree, and he was actually able to read it there. And then they lit the tree, and it was absolutely amazing. Everyone who went told us that you could see our ornaments shining from miles away. It was really cool, and our boss Lee Cunningham was able to go there as well, and she was able to experience this almost once in a lifetime event. Yeah, the hard work that we put into all this, and just the amazing project that came out of it. And that's where this picture comes from. Dustin, if you want to help me hold this, we'll bring it over here. So this, it was a gift to our boss Lee Cunningham, showing the Capitol Christmas tree there in front of the Capitol building on the west lawn. Very special and very good memory for us all on this. And then the tree also had a banner running on the truck, and that's where this comes from. This was our logo that we had put on the truck, and everyone from the Forest Service who was there signed it for us, cut it off the banner, and then mailed it to us. And so now we have it hanging up in our office with 3 different types of metal incorporating in the frame. Steel on the outside, stainless steel, and then aluminum, and it's held together with brass rivets. Very cool reminder of this great project that we were able to work on. And it showcases the different types of metals that we work with here at BT Metals. And so this was a very fun project to work on, as we said numerous times. And the biggest part for all of this, I'd say for this entire project, Dustin, the biggest part that came out of this was the community aspect that we saw in it. Everyone from Eureka basically showed up at Mattakit. There was, what, about like 300, 400 people there at the event. Really cool to see. Here locally in Eureka, we had HSU be involved. We had College of the Redwoods involved as well. And College of the Redwoods, I believe, was the one who was helping out with the Mattakit Square event. So thank you, College of the Redwoods, for allowing us to be there and see this magnificent tree. before it headed over to DC. And then we had other companies within the area also get involved. We had lots of schools get involved with making the ornaments. I believe, Dustin, you had a couple of your kids even make
Yeah,
ornaments.
all 5 of my kids donated ornaments to it, so that was pretty cool.
And
joint effort, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just a great effort from everyone involved, a really big community aspect that really shone through this entire project. And so we at BT Metals just want to say a very hearty thank you to everyone involved. Congratulations again, Six Rivers. It was very fun and a great experience for all of us to partner with you on this project. And we just want to let you know that we at BT Metals, we would love to have anyone who wants to come in for maybe even an internship or anything. We would love to help young people come through and learn about welding and learn about this industry, because it is big, it is growing, and there are so many aspects that you can go through.
Yeah.
I myself, I am the plasma table operator and the milling machine operator here. Dustin, he's our lead fabricator, so he oversees all the welding projects, whereas for me, I oversee the milling and plasma machine projects. So there's a lot of different areas where you can get involved in here at BT Metals, but also a lot of different areas where you can get involved in industry. It doesn't have to just be welding or milling or plasma table operation. It could stem into additive manufacturing with 3D printers, or it could even go into metallurgy, a great study of material science. And there are just so many aspects that you could get into, and we just want to let everyone know that it would be great if you want to come out and see our shop. We'd love to give you a tour. We'd love to sponsor you and give you an internship here if this is something you want to go into. Sometimes industry just isn't for everyone, but we want to just welcome all who want to try and see all the different aspects, because it isn't just out on the shop floor, but it's also in the office running estimates and doing customer relations and just everything in between that makes a business run. So once again, we at BT Metals just want to say thank you for this opportunity, and that's all, folks.
That's it.
All right. Okay, I'm back on. So yeah, so that was a really cool thing that I got to see their shop and then the ornaments and meet the 2 people that were in the design aspect of it. And I did have a chance to talk with their owner as well. So that whole part of the community involvement was just outstanding. And yeah, you could see Sugar Bear for miles, and then the ornaments were just absolutely outstanding. So Betsy, I think I'm going to turn that over to you if you don't mind, if you're ready. I'll stop sharing now, I think. That's what
I'm ready. I think Michael is on here. I saw him join too.
Okay, all right. Maybe,
you wanna-
I don't know. Michael, are you there?
Yes, I am. He's here. See, he just went to the Super Bowl last night.
Michael, welcome. Okay, Michael, would you like to go next since you're at your school break? You're at lunch and you're still in school.
Well, actually, I'm in LA. I went to the Super Bowl yesterday.
Okay, all right. Well, but yes, but your mother told me you were going to be in school. So yeah. So I'm so glad that you went with your parents and are skipping school. Yes. So yeah, all right. Michael, just go right ahead. And Michael, I'm just so glad you're here. Thank you. So take it away, Michael.
What is the theme? 6 rivers, many peoples, one tree mean to me? As I ponder the question presented here, I consider where I am living, literally in the heart of the 6 Rivers National Forest. Here, tucked deep within the northwestern corner of California, is a remote land, whose majesty comes not from the achievements of humankind, but rather nature itself. 6 mighty rivers crisscross this rugged land, from the Smith and Klamath rivers in the north, stretching over to the Eel and the Mad, meeting the Van Duzen and Trinity in the south. All of our rivers, amongst the cleanest in the world, represent life itself. Like the first peoples who have lived here since time immemorial, these rivers overcome every obstacle to ultimately reach their goal of becoming one with the Pacific Ocean. Is this done by an exhibition of power or a show of strength? No, It is accomplished by sheer persistence, the indomitable spirit of never giving up, which is representative of this land and the peoples that live here. From the great tribes, the Yurok, Talawa, Karuk, Wiyot, Chimariko, Nongatal, Hupa, and Wailaki, we are taught to commune and truly be one with nature. This ethos teaches us to view rugged lands, secluded forests, and fierce weather patterns as something genuinely beautiful. Such is the story of the white fur, also known as the Abies concolor, whose beginnings trace back to a single seed. From this humble seed, dropped on a Mother Earth in a remote region, the process begins. Nurtured by the fertile soil, which the Six Rivers saturates throughout the year, and against all apparent odds, not only confronts the weather, but embraces it. The young tree emerges proudly upwards towards the shining sun. From this great forest, we bring you the majestic white fir, to be the capital Christmas tree. As the lights are strung and the ornaments placed, we, the people who live in the tree's symbolic shadow, hope that its beauty and grandeur provide a beacon to America and a reminder that on this Christmas, that all things are possible.
Thank you, Michael. That was just wonderful. Hey, Michael, so how was that being up there, in the Capitol grounds? Tell us a little from your standpoint. What was that like for you?
It was really cool to have that experience. It was very I had a lot of nerves when I walked up to the stage. Just like you could probably hear my voice quivering when I recited it when I was in DC. But I'm really grateful for all the experiences that I've had. I'm going to thank everybody who was involved in this.
Mhm. Well, we want to thank you. And I mean, there wasn't a quiver in your voice, and it never came across. It was just so impressive. And then there were a few Kleenexes in the aisles too, of just how the motion of the people there. It just, it was wonderful to see the Secretary of Agriculture give you such accolades. It was very cool. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael. So, all right. So from the Super Bowl, then we'll go to Betsy. If you're ready.
You know
Thank
what?
you so much, Michael.
Every time I've gotten to know Michael and his family very, very well. And every time he reads that, I cry. And I think I cry because this young man, when I first read it and we went through these, I'm like, there's no way that this young man who's 10 years old wrote that. Then you get to know Michael and you talk to him for 30 minutes and you're like, there is hope for the future. He not only wrote that, he believes that. And I still do, my 8-year-old son, I want him to be with Michael as much as possible because he's such an inspiration and he resembles everything. I can't even put into words. I have the chills. I always do. Walked to the White House with Michael and his family in heels, his mom and I, but the kids did. And we sat on a Sunday or a Monday night in front of the White House at 9:30, 10 at night, because it was beautiful. And we said, what the heck, let's go. And our little girls played in front of the White House. Michael was just taking in the sights, posing with Secret Service because he was a celebrity and the Secret Service wanted pictures with him. And he's just amazing. And Linda, I want to put in the perspective of Michael. He's sitting in a car. By the way, I happen to know he should be in school, but that was a surprise trip for Michael that they sprung on him. But I want you guys to watch something. I'm going to share my screen real quick for you guys because I want you to watch Michael. He, just a couple seconds of this. This is him at the harvest ceremony, the first time he read this publicly. So I'm going to share my screen here just so you can see how amazing it was. This was out at the site. And yeah, this is him.
As I ponder the question presented here, I consider where I am living, literally in the heart of the Six Rivers National Forest. Here, tucked deep into the northwestern corner of California, is a remote land.
whose majesty comes not from the achievements of humankind, but rather nature itself. 6 mighty rivers crisscross this rugged.
Okay, we could watch it again, but I can watch every single time. I could watch every single time over and over. That's Sugar Bear behind him that you saw. He then read it in Eureka, then he memorized it, as you can see. A little fun story about that. We met Speaker Pelosi on the day of the lighting. Michael was not supposed to read at the tree lighting. All he was supposed to do is walk up there and press the button. Speaker Pelosi was so taken back by Michael. We all left Michael, actually. And then all of a sudden, Speaker Pelosi during the lighting says, I want Michael to get up here and read. That was not in the program. That was never been done before. But Michael, we just can't thank you enough. You represented the North Coast well. You know how I feel about you. He wrote me a card that I got 2 days ago and was sitting here crying, reading it. So yeah, Michael Mavis, everyone, round of applause. You were amazing. Thank you. And we will go on to me, I guess. My name is Betsy Totten. I'm the Public Affairs Officer for Six Rivers National Forest. I am just getting my stuff that Michael's was, I didn't plan on doing that. So let me just get to my screen again. I was actually brought into this project late. We'll get into that in just a second. I want to apologize first for my not so good graphics. I can do much better than this, but this morning about 9:30, 10 o'clock, I said, we need visuals. I need to have some visuals. So I whipped them up because I wanted you guys to kind of see what we did. Linda, thank you. You're amazing for putting this together. Linda volunteered her time, which is where I really met her. And now bringing her back to work for me as a retired in the ACES program, because we can't, Forest Service needs this incredible woman. So didn't really give her a choice, said, will you please, pretty please? And she's coming back. So I will start. I came into this program, this project late, if you will. And by late, I mean, I was hired in August with the Forest Service. They started working on this in, I believe it was January. So I came in late to all of this. You guys, hold on a second. There you go. They began planning the beginning of January. So when I came into this, the communication plan was already made, logo was created, messaging and talking points were set. So I just had to learn and adapt quickly. And for someone that usually is starting projects from the beginning, it was something that, you know, I wanted to make tweaks here and there, but wasn't able to. But we had such a great communications team. This is us. We call ourselves the Tree Amigos. Samantha Rijo, right there in the middle, is Region 5 Public Affairs. She lives in Vallejo. Jace Goodard is Public Affairs for Research and Development and lives in the Bay Area. And then there's me over there coming late to the game in August, but we definitely had a team like I've never worked on before. I guess when you go through a project like this, you meet friends and you meet colleagues that you'll never find anyone like that. So Sam and Jace did all the initial work, but the one thing that the public affairs branch of the project was missing was the local communications aspect, simply because members of our comms team and our tree leader even, they weren't from here. They weren't from the North Coast. So we had very minimal community and media involvement. And my first task coming onto the Forest Service, besides getting my link pass and uniforms and learning how to even fill out my time card, was changing that and making sure that we got our local community involved. So, you know, we really felt the lack of community knowledge was where we needed to focus our time. We had a deadline of ornaments coming up, and we only had 25% of the ornaments we needed. So the amazing Maritza Guzman, who is on here as well, who's our decoration lead, who you're going to get to hear from, said, wait a second, let's push it more local. And then, so we did this. I made calls, got on media. All of you from this area know that if you ask the North Coast, if you say you need help, people come and they help and they give 110%. So then Maritza, once we did that, got 15,000 ornaments, the most any Christmas tree has ever received within a very short amount of time. And she had to track them all, log them all, take pictures of them all. I don't know how this woman did it, doing her normal job as well. But we definitely showed up, and our North Coast really showed what we're made of. So I guess the takeaway from this is it's important in communities like ours to definitely have that local public affairs, communications, and marketing teams, or at least have a local connection. You know, I know a lot of people hire out or get contract out, but it's so important if you can to stay here locally. And this was one of the examples that showed that. So we were on the road for almost a month. In public affairs and communications, every community has a different way of doing things in a different way that we have to be relatable. So it was our job to make sure that we knew what media outlets were coming up, what community dynamics were at our stops, and we had to make sure we were always ahead of the game. Also had to remember about locals here. We did Facebook Lives at every stop, and that was just something that we kind of started. I would even do long ones. Now, the normal Facebook Live, you're only supposed to do for 3 to 4 minutes. That's what the books tell you. That's what I have a master's in communications. You're only supposed to do it for 3 to 4 minutes because you lose viewers. But we were getting messages from people here locally that wanted to see more. They didn't want us to get off. So I would literally just walk around with my phone, showing them every single aspect of everything. And I know at least about 20 people said, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. Others were probably like, this is way too long. But I always feel like if I can connect to 10 to 20 people, especially locally where our tree is from, I'm going to give them what they want and everyone else can just log off. So we did Facebook Lives. And definitely made sure that was my biggest goal, is to keep our local community engaged. Here's where it gets crazy, guys. We started in the mornings at about 7 a.m. That was a normal day, and would get into our next hotel sometimes 2 stops later. That's 2 of our whistleblower stops where we had to set everything up, take everything down. So we'd sometimes get in 2 stops later and 3 states away. And it was usually always after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Saying we were exhausted just when I was putting this together is kind of an understatement. I don't know how we got through, but we did. And this is one of the reasons why. Here is our comms team car right here. I guess we could have been a little more professional. But I looked through all pictures, and this is the only one I could find, but it kind of embodies how we stayed afloat. This is our comms team car. I took over Jace's spot in Albuquerque. So Jace went from California to Albuquerque. Then I took the tree from Albuquerque to Washington, D.C. James Mills there in the front. The only one being professional and smiling is our photographer, who is with the tree every single year. And then Samantha took the tree the whole way too, all the way to DC. Now we had to prep in the car, never had a break. As a matter of fact, I can only remember one time we actually got to stop for lunch and twice for dinner the entire time. It was go, go, go. But we got in a rhythm. Sam hopped in the back, as you see there, and would work. I would drive because I just somehow, I guess I'm a good driver. They told me I was a good driver, but I would driving cross country. And then James would edit photos in the front. At the same time, we'd be reaching out to media. Our next media stops. So if we were headed into Tulsa, we were calling media in Tulsa. You can see right there, this is late at night. This is literally, or it could be early in the morning. I don't even remember. It's a whirlwind. So we made over 25 stops. I don't even remember, Linda, if you it was 28, 25, 20, you know what, after you get over 15, it all just blends in. We made over 25 stops, had thousands of signatures all over the banner on the side of the truck, and made it to Joint Base Andrews on time to unwrap the tree and take it to DC. So here is all the stops we made. As you can see, this was with the tree tracker, and people could track the tree as it went across the country. Oh my gosh, I look at this right now and I'm exhausted just looking at it. I didn't realize this would bring me back. So we, like I said, we made over 25 stops. We left at 3 a.m. on the morning we delivered the tree to the Capitol. We unwrapped it from Joint Base Andrews. And then with a bunch of military help, it was a wonderful day. And we left at 3, actually we met at 3 and then arrived safely into the Capitol about 5 a.m. in the morning. I got to ride in the cab of the truck that day, and I actually did a Facebook Live, 2 of them for everyone. I was on Facebook Live so much that day, but people loved seeing it. And most incredible escort I can ever even imagine with the Capitol Police. I don't think I would ever mess with the Capitol Police. They had it down. We were taking the tree in like it was a prized piece of art. And we also took it in early because then we avoided all of the traffic in the morning. So it was cold. We were exhausted, but the adrenaline kept us going. We pulled Sugar Bear up to the west lawn of the Capitol about 10 a.m. that same morning and handed it off to the Capitol architects. We had a little break in between where we parked it right there. We parked it right there on the National Mall, and then had to drive it basically around the block to get it to the Capitol. So we had about a few hour break by the time we pulled it in, and we found a Starbucks and just started caffeining up. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it one. U.S. Capitol Christmas tree gives us new words too. And then took it into handed it over to the Capitol architects, went to our hotel and took long needed naps. I think we all just passed out and slept. So the comms team job was not over. And to be honest with you, it's still not over. I came home for 5 days. I grabbed my family, which those are my kids you see in the picture. I grabbed my family and my husband, who's also in those pictures. And I came home for 5 days, was exhausted, then flew all the way back to DC with my kids and my husband to do more. We had great opportunities beyond just the Christmas tree. You see there, I still look at these pictures like, oh my gosh, that happened. We never thought that this would happen. Meeting Speaker Pelosi. My kids drew her pictures. That night at the party, Speaker Pelosi said, Betsy, where's Lincoln and Lily? But these were opportunities. I was giving her a Forest Service mask. And that's actually Assemblymember Huffman right there. These were opportunities we had that go beyond a Christmas tree, that really talk about the North Coast. So many people don't even know where the North Coast is. Now, these politicians do, but we really were able to have conversations and show what the North Coast is made of. And another person in those pictures is Michael Mavers, and his family was also there in these. So she was out there on her balcony with all of us. She got to meet North Coast kids. It was an amazing experience. So this is something that I still speak with her chief of staff. Actually, we have kids the same age. And Speaker Pelosi's chief of staff still emails me and says, how's everything going? So we'll get them back here as well. She's interested in our 75th birthday. So yeah, so our job and the comms team is never over, ever over. We came back for this festivities. Our forest had the 2021 U.S. Capitol Christmas tree, and guess what? We always will. This will always be talking points for our forest and for our area. And we really had the opportunity to put the entire North Coast on the map. I mean, we went across the nation, and I can't tell you how many people did not even know about our area. They said, oh, California. They immediately think of Los Angeles. No. I loved showing people pictures. Our interp team did such an amazing job bringing the North Coast, bringing the forest to each stop we made. They set up an entire interpretation so people could learn more about our forest, about our Native American lands, about what comes from our forest, our rivers, our fish, and our people. So that was, I think, the most amazing part of it. The team you see here, you see right here, we showed up as Six Rivers National Forest and as North Coasters. I mean, I've never been so proud to call myself a North Coaster than when you go across the country and they get to see you like that. So I am now, there's our beautiful tree. I think you guys saw that photo as well. I'm now going to show you, and I have to get out of here. I think I have to stop share to get to another one. And I'm now going to show you what we call our sizzle reel. And this will, this is a, actually, no, yes. I'm now going to show you the sizzle reel. This is it was played when we got there, and it's basically an overview of, here we go. It's an overview of the entire, oh, there we go. You hear it? You see it?
No, we don't hear it or see it.
Okay, hold on. I didn't think so. My computer just, I was wondering how you were seeing it because I didn't share it, but it's, okay, we're gonna start this again. There we go.
I've been keeping my eyes on you all year.
There's Sugar Bear.
You've been taking
Gorgeous Mad River
notice.
District.
That much is clear.
After we cleared everything out of the area. So
Now I'm
this just shows the beauty that's just shown all over California.
hoping you'll take this ride. Girl, have you got plans for Christmas night? Why don't we make your Christmas my Christmas, our Christmas? Why don't we make your Christmas
There's Michael.
5, 4, 3,
That's right.
2, 1. Michael. Yay!
So that is, yeah, that's our sizzle reel, as you guys could see. Basically just shows you everything we went through. Linda, do you want me to show the kids still, or you want to just do that at the end?
Let's do that at the end. That would be really cool at the end. Don't you think so, Betsy? That would
Yes,
be great.
I just want to make sure. Now, one thing I know that a lot of you are probably thinking before we go on to the next one is, how did you stay safe? We did this in a pandemic. I know that question has got to be on your mind because it was on all of our mind. We stayed in our pods. We tested every single morning. We wore masks despite what the communities that we were in did. Our noses were raw. Our noses were raw because we tested every single morning. We did not. And one of the things, we didn't want to get sick, but we also didn't want to be the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree. U.S. Forest Service brings COVID to across country to different communities, right? That's a PR nightmare. So we did not have any cases. We stayed safe and made it successfully there. So do you want, Linda, do you want me to do the interp video to lead into Maritza? It's 2
Sure.
minutes.
Let's go. Let's do that. And then Maritza, you're up. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is,
You're ready.
I told you guys a little bit about Maritza and our interp and decoration team. Sometimes it's the unsung heroes, the ones behind the scenes that you don't see that make a tour. These individuals were the ones that made this tour. No one would have learned about Six Rivers National Forest if it wasn't for these gals. They set up, took down, created everything. I can't even tell you. So at the end, I was like, I needed to make something for them to share with the community because they like to stay behind the scenes, but I don't let them because they're so amazing. So hold on a second. I will share my screen one more time and then you will get to meet the one and only Maritza. She's like, oh, Betsy, what are you doing to me? I know she's turning red right now. Okay, here we go.
My name is Catherine Havman. I'm the Sub-Regional Volunteer Coordinator. I'm a Resource Assistant on both the Klamath National Forest and Six Rivers National Forest. And for this project, the U.S. Capitol Christmas Tree, I've been honored to be chosen as the interp lead. So setting up and designing all of the interpretation that we bring with us through all of our stops. And it's been a really great experience and something I will never forget. Scott. I work on the Six Rivers National Forest as a wildland fire prevention officer. This is 17 years in the agency, and I am so happy to be here. It's such a pleasure and an honor. And this is the last leg of the tour, and I can't wait to come home.
Clark. I'm the district archaeologist on the Gasky Ranger District, Smith River National Recreation Area for the Six Rivers National Forest, and I'm glad to be here.
Hi, my name is Maritza Guzman. I am the Support Services Specialist for the Mad River District on the Six Rivers National Forest. For the 2021 U.S. Capitol Christmas Tree, I was actually the decorations lead, and I was in charge of 15,000 ornaments and 40 tree skirts. The one here that you see behind me is actually just one of the 40 handmade tree skirts that we got for this project. I'm super excited and honored to have been part of this project and with all of our teammates here today.
All right. On that note, I think we can go over to Maritza. That's that last person you saw there. This tour would have not happened if it wasn't for this young woman who's absolutely incredible.
Hi, everyone. So thanks for the intro, Betsy. That was super sweet. That's actually the first time I think I've seen that video fully put together. So that was really nice. So my name's Maritza Guzman, and as you heard from Betsy and Linda, I was a decorations lead. So a little bit about myself. I'm actually a HSU alumni. I graduated in 2014, also as a geography major. As I learned, Linda also was a geography major. So that was super cool to learn that we're all connected back to some way, shape, or form. And so after graduating, I graduated in geography and a minor in environmental education and interpretation. A little fun fact is 2 days after graduating, I walked across the stage. It was actually a beautiful sunny day in the Redwood Bowl in May. And 2 days after that, I started working for the Forest Service. So fast forward 7 years later, now we're in 2021 and had been in the Forest Service for 7 years already. And I had never heard about the US Capitol Christmas tree. I was like, what is this? I didn't even know the Forest Service did a project like this. And to my surprise, the Six Rivers was selected. So we had a meeting back in January and they were like, oh, we're looking for people to participate and to be part of the project. And funny thing is, about a week later, I got a message from Nancy Henderson, which was the lead for the project. And she said, hey, you've been nominated by your fellow coworkers to be the decorations lead. And I was like, what in the world? I was like, there's no way I'm going to be part of this. Like, I already have way too much on my plate right now. But I said, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime. This project is probably not going to come around the North Coast or the Six Rivers, anytime soon again. So I said, you know what? Let's do it. So here I am, decorations lead, and the goal of our team that we really said was, let's connect, of course, provide decorations, but also connect those people in California, share the history and the meaning of this project, of what it really means from when it first started, of what it meant to bring a tree to the Capitol from each different forest every year, to really showcase that forest and to really bring back that forest back to the Capitol, and really connect not only the employees, but the community and everybody that's kind of part of that project, and taking it back to DC was really the big part of our team, the decorations team. And the cooler part of that was, I'm a super crafty person. So I really enjoyed, arts and crafts and projects like that. So I was like, this is so exciting. Because as we know, people also like to do lots of crafts, and schools, different organizations and whatnot. So this was like a really unique project in my eyes, to really bring the people and allow them to participate actively in this. So we, put out the word starting, I believe, in May, and we said, hey, we need 15,000 ornaments. And people were like, okay, yeah, maybe you'll get 1,000 or a couple thousand, but people just were super excited about this project. And by October, we actually had reached our goal. Thanks to people like Linda, who was our skirts lead, was able to put the word out to people like Maggie in the quilt guilds, and just like a bunch of schools, senior centers, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts. I mean, you name it, everybody was super excited about it, at least those ones that we were able to reach out. So
At the end of the day, we got the 15,000, to be exact, it was like 15,291 ornaments, because we did track literally them. We counted all of them. We tracked everybody on who was submitting. So we got that, and then we got about 50-ish handmade tree skirts, which was, you know, really unbelievable that we even met all of our goals. So here, just a few pictures. This is kind of what our decorations, as Linda called it, Santa's workshop looks like. So we had all kinds of crafty stuff, from popsicle sticks to pom-poms and paint and you name it. This is a picture of when they started to come in. So people were mailing them to our address in the masses. They were just showing up left and right. So it was like Christmas every day in 2021 for our decorations team. So this is just one truckload, as you can see here. And we had easily about 10 truckloads by October of just, you know, people submitting ornaments. This is our awesome Amy Collenberg, who, as you can see, was multitasking. So she was not only doing her day job, but she is also helping out the decorations team. So she's like listening to meetings and also hot gluing things together as they were coming in. We had to do a lot of repairs. Some things came in broken. We also had to add string to them to be able to hang them on the tree. So just a very, very fun project for all of our crafty people. Here we have Belen, who was also a big part of this project. And one of the many things that I really liked about this project is, otherwise I probably would have never been working with these kind of people. I mean, we had Belen, who's in engineering. We had Jay-Z, who was a fire prevention officer. So it was a very unique project that otherwise we're normally just very district or in our own discipline. But this project really allowed us to kind of branch out and just work with everybody in the Forest Service that otherwise we probably would never cross paths or work so much as we did together in this project. And here, one of my favorite pictures is Linda West. And this is one of my favorite pictures because this is the first set of ornaments that we started wrapping and putting into their boxes ready to ship out to DC. So these are actually surfboards that we got from an organization down in the Southern California. She made about 100 surfboards that were going to be going on Sugar Bear, the big tree outside. So exciting day. First set of ornaments into their first box. And then here we had Ted. So the way that we did it after we got all the ornaments is that we individually chose kind of a theme for each tree. And we selected a tree skirt and we kind of walked around this room and just handpicked different ornaments. We're like, this skirt would go great with, you know, these 100, 200 ornaments. That kind of keep a theme going. So we kind of mishmashed a bunch of ornaments. And it was really cool just seeing all the different skirts that we got actually ended up matching some of the ornaments that we also got. So that was super this was a very fun part of the project because this was like when we had all the ornaments, we had all the skirts, and just putting everything together was a lot of fun. And then I believe here's another picture. This is what the room looked like. This is what 15,000 ornaments looks like in a room. It's just boxes loaded with all the decorations and tree skirts. And finally, we ended up getting all of them wrapped up and put into boxes and eventually put onto pallets. So the way that our ornaments got shipped was via a trailer along with all the smaller companion trees also went the ornaments. So it was one whole trailer that just took everything that we've been working on all year and taken to DC. This is, as you may have seen from one of the other videos, this is the Witten patio tree. So this is one of the larger 25-foot tall trees with some ornaments. And then we finally got Sugar Bear out on the Capitol, all beautifully decorated.
with everyone's ornaments. And this was just part of our team here that we had, but it was a very happy day as we were able to, you know, really see it all come to fruition and the trees decorated. And yeah, this was a very, very happy day for the decorations team. And that's pretty much all I had. Just want to say that, again, you know, one of the most proud moments that I had at the end of the project, now that I look back, is just really, as people have said, is like that building that community that this project really allows. Like I said, otherwise I would have never been able to work with people like Linda or Maggie, or even Lee and her staff at BT Metals here in Eureka. So it was a very unique project, and, you know, some relationships that were built that continuously will continue on. So that's all I had, and I'm looking forward to hearing what your questions or comments are at the end. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much. That was just fabulous. It brought me back again to all the different things of those boxes and everything. So that was so cool. Hey, so then Maggie Stimpson, are you about ready to start? Are you on?
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Maggie.
Hi.
Thank you. I'm just going to let you rock and roll.
So I am going to share my screen here. First of all, I had set this up so I would be able to read my, read about my slides from each, as each slide was shown to you, but that hasn't worked out. So I'm freelancing here. Am I supposed to? Okay, I share this screen, and here we go. And so I'm like Linda, new to this. So this is my first introduction to. I saw an article in our newspaper about the Christmas trees and needing tree skirts, and I thought I'd make one, but I hadn't talked to anybody about it. But then I got a call from Susie Fries. And Susie, are you on here?
Yes, I am.
So why don't you tell her what that conversation went like?
So I think Linda West called me, right? So my phone number is the one that everybody uses for Redwood Empire Quilters Guild. And I got a call from Linda, and she was explaining about the Capitol Christmas tree. And hey, is your guild interested in doing a 15-foot Christmas tree skirt? And honestly, you guys didn't give us a whole lot of time to get this thing done. And I thought about it, and I told her I'd call her back.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. That's fine. So then I called Maggie and I said, hey, what do you think? Let's do this. And she said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I said, okay, let's run with it. And so I handed it over to Maggie, and I left town for a month. And then she took it over from there.
So from that point, to start with, we needed to get the Redwood Empire Quilters Guild board of directors on board with us so that we'd have their support, which they graciously gave to us. Yeah, it was about the beginning of June when I looked back and saw our emails back and forth about what was going to take place here. So once we talked to the board, got their support, Susie was getting ready to leave town. So I went to my husband and I got him to draw me a CAD drawing of what it would take to make a 25 section, 15-foot wide tree skirt with a 4-foot center. That's for the tree and the lower branches, according to this was the specs that the U.S. Forest Service gave us for the center. So then I was able to come up with the dimensions. And then I put the word out to the Moonstone and Eel River Valley, as well as the Redwood Empire Quilters Guild, to get some people interested in making the quilt. Making the tree skirt sections. That's what I'm trying to say. This is the front of a booklet that I made for as a keepsake for the group. And I'll talk more about that later, but here are the different guilds that helped us out. By the end of June, we had 30 people in a group that committed to creating this beautiful work of art that we're going to share with you today. Can you tell me, am I speaking loud enough for you all? Okay, good. Yeah, I got the, okay. Let me see if I can go back here. So first of all, we had to, most of the gals, or a lot of the gals, knew what their subject matter was going to be, but I also referred everybody to the this page. Can you see it? The suggested themes, and for inspiration. And then I also told them about all the things, or I had them go look at this page also. And you'll notice there's something here that might have limited our choices of fabrics, because being from Humboldt, that meant we couldn't use our favorite flora or background fabric, but that was okay. We decided that was fine. We got a good laugh out of that. But we did get special dispensation to make a California wine country wedge, which you might see later in the booklet. Let's see, let's move on here. So this is the booklet. I want to take you to the next. I'm going to let that run in the background while I tell you a little bit more. This shows Linda giving our introduction, and then there'll be a page for each of the makers with a picture of them, a little blurb about what they experienced or what their thoughts were or what the theme was. And there were 25 of these, so I'll let that go on. So while they made skirts, I busied myself making this booklet. And once it was done, it was like, it took on a life of its own. The copies were ordered from our local copy shop called the Central Office by the score. I mean, people kept calling and asking for them. That the owners, Terry and Lynette, started wagering whether each phone call would be another order or not. The U.S. Forest ordered a dozen to take with them to give to dignitaries and in DC. And then a local gallery, after the tree left, a local gallery, Redwood Art Association, did a special exhibit using the posterized pages, like each of these pages from the booklet, and life-size poster replicas of the wedges from photographs we'd taken. And then it was shown from, this exhibit was shown from mid-November to mid-December. Let me hurry this up a little bit, and I want to show you. So Linda, by the time we were getting close to being done, it was September, and fortunately they pushed the deadline out a little bit for us. And Linda had been looking for someone to make the 12-foot skirt and hadn't found anyone. So I put out the word to some of the makers that had finished with the 15-foot skirt, and I got 9 volunteers to help me with a theme that I had developed for a regular 5-foot skirt, but I thought it could expand into this 12-foot skirt. What I did was I had taken smoky and woodsy posters from the U.S. Forest Service website, Symbols website, I think it was, and made cloth posters out of them from using a source called Spoonflower. So I had them use one of the posters and had them each make a quilted square of their choice, gave them this pattern, and we came up with this beautiful little 12-foot.
Maggie, this is Kim. I'm sorry to interrupt. Are you sharing your screen? I just see one slide that just says decorations cannot include. Is that what you mean to be sharing?
Oh, no.
Yeah, I kind
So
of
you
thought you
haven't
might be.
seen any of the slides that I showed?
No, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt because I
Oh.
didn't want to be wrong.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and try again here. Would that be okay?
Yes, absolutely.
Share. Wow. So you didn't get to see the diagram or anything, huh?
I think that we saw the diagram and that was the last, and then it went.
Oh,
to-
okay,
We
so-
saw the intro that you had, but yeah.
Okay, here's
maybe.
the other slideshow from beginning. Okay, so that was the booklet. This is Susie and me auditioning the.
You have it. You have to share your. You have to share your screen.
I'm not sharing it. Okay. Where is that?
It's down at the bottom.
I know,
It's
but I'm
the
not even
bottom
seeing the
screen,
Zoom.
maybe.
I'm not seeing the Zoom screen either. All right, here we go. Am I sharing it now?
Not yet. Not
Really?
yet.
It's showing that I am on my screen, but let's see. Am I sharing it
There you
yet?
go. There you go. Mhm.
Okay.
Now go up and hit slideshow.
I'm trying to get to it. There's something that's overlaying about live transcription. Let me close that.
While you're doing that, Maggie, I'll make a couple of comments about the quilters that
Oh.
made these
Thank you.
skirts, these skirt pieces.
There you
Not giving
go.
them that much time. These people just hit it out of the park. They had sent us a couple of pictures of past tree skirts. And I have to tell you, I mean, we set the bar up so high for next year's. I don't know if they're ever going to be able to make it because our ladies, our quilters came through great.
Yep, I agree. I agree. So this is the booklet pages that I was talking about. And then the 12 at the end of the booklet pages, there's one of the 12-foot diameter skirt. I'll hurry. I think we're running out of time. Is that right? So
Yeah. Thank you, Maggie. No, and in Maggie's, we fostered a wonderful relationship, and now, the skirt will be, the big skirt now is returned to the supervisor's office. So there is a plan for us to have it in the lobby. And then when the visitor area is open again, you'll be able to come in and see it. And then we still have a lot of things on the website, as Betsy has mentioned. So, but these are just beautiful.
So there's the 12-foot skirt. And there's Susie and I auditioning the placement of the 15-foot, and here's Nancy Frost and I working on the 12-foot skirt. And here's Susie putting it together with Jeannie's help. It was a monster. And let's see if I get somewhere now. Let me escape there and go to another slide. Let's see, bring that down. Whoops, share screen. I just wanted to show this last. I don't know why it's saying that. This page, sorry. There we go. So then we got to share it with the community here. This is at Woodley Island.
No, it's not showing.
It's not showing.
No, we're just seeing your
Says I'm sharing my screen at the top. What do I?
you're sharing your screen, but we're seeing your file list.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for holding my hand. How about?
You're doing a great job. No worries. There you go.
Beautiful.
Slideshow from beginning. So here's Woodley Island, and we had a lot of people come out and see it. We had to do it COVID safe. The community gave us donations that helped pay for our handouts and our rental on the space. And then here's another view. This is Woodley Island looking back at Eureka. And then I also got some drone photos of skirt. It's a 15-foot skirt. And here's a drone photo of the 12-foot skirt, and I included the shadow of the drone on this one. And then here I wanted to share with you a video that was taken by my son-in-law of the 2 skirts on my sister's lawn in McKinleyville, just because I could. We live in a beautiful area. So now I also have a few pictures that were sent to me by Marilee Klein and Noreen O'Brien. Do I have time to show those?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to stop. Let's see, escape here and close that. Go back to my, okay. Go back to my, all right. Now let's share the screen. Photos to share. So these are some that, oh, am I sharing?
No.
You're sharing the file list again.
Is it, how about now?
Not yet.
How do I get this? This is escape, stop, new share. How about this? So we're getting to see this now?
Yes. Now hit slideshow.
Is that it? Or you got it?
Well, you had it, but you lost it.
I think so. Maybe just advance.
Slideshow from current slide. Is that it?
Yep.
It should
Got
be.
it.
Okay, so these are Linda West and Maritza sent me some photos. This is one I have of the, you actually saw it in the background at some of this whistle stops. This is a whistle stop tour showing the 12-foot skirt on a pop-up, which kept it off the ground and kept it clean, thank goodness. And then here's one that Linda sent me in front of the tree. Here's Maritza with her lovely ornaments, the dynamic Miss Maritza. And here's the top of the tree in the Witten building lobby. And here's our Randy Moore, U.S. Forest Service Chief. And I think this is the lead, right? Nancy Henderson. Okay, good. All right, then we'll have, this is the Sacred Oaks Healing Center. Marilee, would you like to talk about this?
Yes, when Sugar Bear and our Christmas tree skirt made a stop at our Capitol in Sacramento, it was seen there by Mark Espinoza. He's the area director for the California Indian Health Services. He was looking for wall art representing Northern California for the new Sacred Oaks Healing Center in Davis. He commissioned Jody Risconi, Yvonne Jolly, and myself to recreate our tree skirt wedges into 3-foot by 6-foot panels. This was mine called Timber. This was Jody Risconi's Nature in Balance. And Yvonne Jolly's fabulous Yurok Life on the Klamath.
Thank you, Marilee.
Thank you very much. That was just so amazing. So I appreciate Maggie, and
I just have one
we're all
more.
learning all the technical pieces. So
I have one more person that gave us a couple pictures.
okay.
So Noreen, are you there?
I'm here. I am there.
You want to talk about your pictures and your
Sure.
quick
So
synopsis?
I feel very fortunate. I was part of the quilt making project, and this is myself at the Witten building. And a lot of people said, oh, you'll never get into the Witten building, but I talked my way into it, and my husband and my daughter and my son-in-law, and we actually had an armed guard escort into the building. So that was pretty cool that we got in. I watched the entire tour, and I felt like the Forest Service did a fabulous job educating the public about the tree and about the forest, and you know how they took care of Sugar Bear on the way. My family saw Sugar Bear and the tree skirt, the essence of Humboldt, in Willow Creek, Fortuna, Sacramento, Redlands, and Washington, D.C. In Sacramento, my daughter was actually interviewed on the news. And I followed the tour every single day, and I watched the Facebook. And after the whistle stop tours, I would Google the local news and read about it. And I found it quite amazing. Well, that's my husband and myself in front of Sugar Bear. I found it amazing how much joy the tree brought to all the communities and how much joy the Forest Service was providing. After coming, you know, through this whole pandemic and still being in it, this was just a bright spot for our United States. It was fabulous. And I have a really cute story about, do you have the one picture of my granddaughters in Redlands?
Oh, no, I don't.
Okay, well, I have two little granddaughters, and my children actually pulled their kids out of school and took them to see the Capitol tree and to learn about this whole project. They were in Redlands, California, and my son had his two little girls, and the oldest one is 5. And he asked about the tree skirt, and the people said, well, we don't have room to display it here, but it's on the table and the bag is open. So he took his girls over, and the section that was showing on the table happened to be the section, mine and Yvonne's section was right on top. And so Kayla, the 5-year-old, knew it, and she said to the lady at the table, she said, my grandma made that. And the woman said, oh, that's nice. Does your grandma sew? And Kayla says, yes, my grandma made that. And the woman said, oh, did your grandma make you a quilt? She said, yes, and my grandma made that. And she was very insistent. Finally, she had to get my son to help her. And my son said, my mom really did make that. So they all got a good laugh out of that. It was a very heartwarming story to hear her be so insistent that my grandma made that. And of course, the lady just thought, you know, her grandma made quilts. So I really enjoyed the whole project, and I loved watching the news afterwards following the project. And I just thought that everyone did a wonderful job, and especially the Forest Service representatives putting the information together. And I liked how they answered the questions. One of the most common questions that I read on one of the sites was, how do you keep Sugar Bear alive? And they explained the whole process, and it was very detailed. It was really wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for wrapping that up. I appreciate it. Boy, Maggie, thank you for getting all your folks there. So we're actually about at a wrap up of this brown bag. There we go. Oh boy. Anyway, and there's a lot more we could talk about, I'm sure. And there's a few things we didn't get to, but we will follow through on the chat and get your answers to your questions. And I appreciate it. So I'm going to sign off, and I thank you all so much. My participants, you're all getting chocolate, and the Guild is going to get lots of chocolate too. Maggie, I'll get that dispersed to you soon. Thanks, guys.
And I want to thank you, Linda, for coordinating this. It's a wonderful thing. It's fantastic that you participate in the Brown Bag and the OLLI Curriculum Committee. Don't go to work too much so you have to leave us.
I won't do. I won't. No.
Good.
No.
But
right.
This has been a fantastic presentation, and we really appreciate it. We'll look forward to seeing it again when it reappears in a few days on our website. Yeah. And I want to let you all know that
thank you.
We have a vacation until March 7th, which is when our brown bags pick back up again. And by the way, those quilts belong in a museum. And you ought to discuss with the museums whether they're interested in keeping them and displaying them so that they don't get lost, because they're beautiful works of art and craft. So
do we have time to do questions? Because I know others have to go, but I can stay on if someone has a question.
Yes, absolutely. If anybody has questions, please go ahead and ask. Maggie, can you stop sharing your screen? There we go. Are
I
there
know
any
others have to
questions?
go. If can I here, hold on a second. I just know you guys are going to want to see this. You can get off if you want, but I just know you're going to want to see this. This is the Sugar Bear song. Sugar Bear lives here. And this is my made it into a video here. Local kindergartners.
Oh, sugar bear, how lovely are your branches. Oh, sugar bear, how lovely are your branches. Not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh, sugar bear, how loud you are the people's trees. Oh, sugar bear, let the ornaments shine brightly. Oh, sugar bear, the ornaments shine brightly. How often has the people's tree afforded us the greatest need? Oh, sugar bear, how loved you are the people's tree. Oh, sugar bear, how lovely are your branches. Oh, sugar bear, how lovely are your branches. Not only green when summer's here, but also when it's cold and drear. Oh, sugar bear, how loud you are the people's trees. Oh, sugar bear, let the ornaments shine brightly. Oh, sugar bear, the ornaments shine brightly. How often has the people's tree afforded us the greatest need? Oh, sugar bear, how loved you are the people's tree.
Thought that
That's
was
charming.
I'd say that was beautiful. Did you see the question in the chat?
How can we get holy, my goodness gracious, sorry guys. How can we get a copy of Michael's essay? I have it. Is there a way, Kim, that I can get it to you and you can send it out to everyone? Yeah, we're switching over our websites, and my plan was to have a section of our website all dedicated to the Christmas tree and have Michael's essay because it's amazing. I'll get it to Kim, you guys. And oh, where'd you find it online, Molly?
I just typed in his name and capital Christmas tree into a search and it came up.
Molly, you're brilliant. You want to come work for the Forest Service?
She can't. She's an OLLI instructor.
Yeah, I'll send you a PDF or a Word version though too, Kim.
Okay. Any other questions? Anything else for today? Well done, and thank you so much for being here. Linda's already gone. I went out to go see where she was, and she has already cleared the building, so I didn't get a chance to thank her, but she is on the road, I guess. But thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for, don't forget about the OLLI open house on Thursday, February 24th, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.
And if you haven't had a chance to join OLLI, please do. We need our membership to go up.
We will make sure to when we share this, we'll share the link, and we will definitely share that how incredible OLLI is and get you guys more people on there. So
that'd be wonderful. The pandemic has hurt a lot of things, and it's also, hurt people's outreach, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.